History of Satanic Encounters is the second episode of season 3 of The UnXplained. Greater than the occurrence of evil is the myth of Satan. Moloch had a Vestan name, Shaitan, cast out of a place. In Aramaic, or Biblical Hebrew, as most people will call that language, we have Azazel, the completely cut off. We also have the Avestan title Gnog Manog, more commonly known as Meliktaus, the peacock angel. Those who criticize the human sacrifices to Moloch ignore both the biblical myth of God the Father and that the Khazarians passed on that cult's traditions. Now, initially, the Khazarian were called the Khazat. People remain in charge of their own illusion, delusion, misbelief, misdeeds, or whatever you call it. Chengdu, in China, that city, might indicate how severe the failings of humanity are. Because from what they presented on this program, it seems that it's more harsh judgment and punishment than anything else. It is important to realize that the terms tell us things, and these beings lack some of the limitations of the physical incarnation, respite and all that, not decaying with what happens to the matter. People practice till they have breakthroughs, but evocation can evoke oneself to perform better. Exorcism can only work with the same sort of consent that lets the entities in. It makes for an effective conversion tool. Christians should remember that it is one of the three things Matthew chapter 7, verses 21 to 23 tells to never do in Jesus' name. Remember, it ends by saying these people are the sort that I never knew, is what I'll say, and that they work outside my law. Very often, the doctrines that are meant to deter are the strongest drives towards what they oppose. And some people will think that certain places and practices are more conducive to this whole sort of experience coming about, and that can be true. But particularly when talking about Satanism, there's flexibility. And as far as which theology or which narrative of which myth is more accurate, again, that's something that, it's beyond that sort of stuff.